Good morning, glorious scrappers. Welcome to my second Emily's Sketch Club video. Today we're going to be doing the second sketch in the book, which is actually on page 7. And again, we're still in this section of 2 to 3 photos, but I'm going to lead with that today because I'm going to start with my pro tip. And my pro tip is that you can use a sketch that only has a spot for 2 to 3 photos, but I'm going to use more photos than that today. And I'm going to do it with peekaboo pockets. Peekaboo pockets are a little intimidating for some people. They can't really figure out exactly how they work. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that and how it attaches to the page protector. Because of that, I'm going to be working directly on the page today. So let me get that. Let me make sure you can see it on the edge there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. What I'm doing today is I'm scrapbooking pictures from a recent crop weekend that I went to, and Emily and Ruth were there. So I have my scrap buddies in the picture with me, and I'm going to be using the Scrap Happy 2 collection, which came out last year. I think it doesn't get as much love as maybe it deserves because although I am going to be scrapbooking a page about my scrapbooking friends, it's not necessarily about cropping specifically, and this page does give you a little latitude to do that. Again, because I'm going to be working directly on the CM page today, I can cut my papers based on the sketch. I can cut them designed to fit, so that will also save the need for any paper welding or anything like that. So let's get started. I went through my collection and I found a few scraps as well as some of the full pages that I hadn't used yet. And I'm going to use these to make my background construction. So for this main part of the background page over here, this border is 2.5 by 12, which means that this is going to be 9.5 by 12. So let's get started with cutting that. In case you guys didn't know, if you also follow Emily's sketch group, she posted a video this morning, so you will have 2 for the price of 1 today. And it's still pretty snowy here, which it's good for you guys because it means that my kitchen is nice and bright today. So, all right. And then this part is going to be 2.5 by 12, just like we said before. So let me go ahead and get that. I don't need the swing arm for that. And we'll get that cut as well. All right. So for attaching the background, I like to use the permanent adhesive for this. It just gives it plenty of stability, and there's not really going to be a need to reposition it once we get it attached. So I'll go ahead and lay that. I say that, and then there's this page is just a little bit longer, so I'll center it there. And then we'll get this down as well. I hope that everybody is having an opportunity, if you are impacted by the winter weather this week, to do a little scrapbooking and as part of your staying in, let's stay home plan. And for those of you who are part of the retreat group for Emily in another couple of days, I look forward to seeing you there. Now, the punch that was released with this collection is the scissor punch. And I feel like there's a lot of bad vibes about that scissor punch. I don't have anything against it, and I don't have any problem using it, except that for the theme of my photos, it's less about the actual scrapbooking and more just about the sisterhood of it. So I'm actually going to use a different punch than that. And I really like this punch. I don't give it enough love, so it needs to be featured today. So I'm going to go ahead and punch a 12-inch border. And this is one of the punches where it has the black lines on the front so that you can make sure that you get your design repeat to come out in the right way, so that if you are making a 2-page spread, it looks as if it continues across both pages seamlessly. But also, even if you're only doing a 1-page spread, the importance of using the black lines on it is actually to get the design in the right position so that it's even on either side. Now, I do want to point out right here, let me see if I can show you. All right, right up here. Do you see on the frame where you match up the design? It punches a little triangle there, and that is so that you can match your pattern repeat exactly. And it matters a little bit less with this particular design than it does with some things. And the one that jumps immediately to mind for me there is the train track. If you don't match those triangles up, then the rungs of your train track are not going to come out the right way. So then you waste paper trying to figure out exactly how you're going to go back and fix that. And here's my tool tip for that. If it happens, it's not the end of the world. You can just go back and re-punch that area again, lining up your triangles. And what that will actually do is it will recreate the punch so that it's positioned correctly. All right, so this is the border that I'm going to use here, and it will sit right down the center like that. I'm going to use repositionable adhesive to put that one on because sometimes when you're trying to run a full 12-inch line, what ends up happening is you get off slightly as you go. And if you're committed to something like glue or the stronger adhesive, then it's very difficult to get yourself back on track. So what I'm using to line myself up as I go here is this tiny dot in the design, because that is dead center. So if I put that right on the edge of my paper piecing, that's going to give me a nice clean border. And then just to jazz it up a little bit more, I'm going to go to the 12-inch stickers that came with this kit. And I'm going to use this little shutter design right here just to go right down the center. And just add a little interest. What's nice about that is it brings all the colors back in. So there's my background page. Now, let's talk about placement of the photos. I do have horizontal photos for this, which is one of the reasons that I chose this layout. And I think this is what I want people to see when they look at the page. So let me just figure out a little bit. I did choose some of the embellishments that come with this kit. And so I know I'm going to use this for my journaling block on the side, and it does overlap the photo just a little bit. So I'm going to play with the placement like that a little bit, and then I'm going to bring this down. So I know roughly where I'm going to position my photos. Now, this is also a collection that comes with photo mats, and the mat pack, I think, gets forgotten about quite a lot. So I decided to use this today, and I'm going to pick up the yellow in my border with this, and I'm going to go ahead and add these in here. Now, does that affect my use of the peekaboo pockets? It does not. The peekaboo pocket that I'll be using today is a 4x6 peekaboo pocket. And the 4x6 peekaboo pockets come in two orientations. So you can have your peekaboo pocket, here it is with the adhesive on the top, so you can have your peekaboo pocket lift up like this, or if you want to, you can have your peekaboo pocket go to the side like this. Okay, so I haven't exactly decided what I want to do yet, but I know the first thing I want to do is go ahead and attach my photos to the mats, because that's definitely going to be part of the design. So let me get those attached. These are the 4.5 by 6.5 inch mats. So the 4x6 photo doesn't need to be trimmed. It fits perfectly. And it has that nice 1/4 inch border all the way around. Okay. So let me go back to test fitting my positioning. And I think I want that positioning to be right there. So let me go ahead and attach. And you know what? Now that I did that, I have made a design on the fly decision. I want this photo to be on the top so that you see it when you look at the page. So I'm actually going to take it off the mat and then attach the photo that's going to be in the bottom of the stack, which is what you'll see when you lift up your Peekaboo Pocket. There we go. All right. I think that looks about where I've decided I want to have that. I don't want it to be too close to the bottom because then it adds a lot of weight to the bottom of the page and it doesn't always hang right when you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that one down. And then I can go ahead and put this one down as well. This isn't going to have a Peekaboo Pocket on top of it, so it will be fine to just sit that way. And actually, let me make a little bit of a decision on that too. I'm not going to have the overlap be as much because of that Peekaboo Pocket. I want to make sure there's ample room for that to fit well. Okay, so now let's talk about the Peekaboo Pockets. It's time for me to make the decision about how I want the orientation to be. I think I want this to be one that lifts up. So let me get that Peekaboo Pocket, that style of Peekaboo Pocket ready. There we go. And the way this works is the adhesive is actually on the outside of the Peekaboo Pocket. I swear it's here. There you go. Okay, it's completely clear. But what I want to make sure that I do is I turn that flap over so that the adhesive will be up against my page and the Peekaboo Pocket will fold over and close the opening. And this is how you're going to be able to prevent any problem with things falling out of the pocket. So knowing that that's my orientation and here's my opening, now what I need to calculate is this is going to be the front, but when I flip it entirely opened, I need my picture to be right side up when it's in there. So when you look at the two pictures, one is going to be upside down. It's going to feel very strange, but that is the right orientation, I promise. And what I like to do is attach my photos to each other so that they don't slip around and I know there's not too much of a white border showing around them. This is actually a pretty good fit. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about trimming it up. So these pictures are going to go into my Peekaboo Pocket. And then we're just going to set that aside for a minute while we finish out the page so that we can get it to the place where we put the page protector on it. This Peekaboo Pocket is actually going to go on the outside of the page protector so that no one has to actually take your album apart to look at those pictures. Pretty ingenious when you think about it. And then you could pop your element up with some foam dots, but I actually don't think I'm going to do that because I haven't done the journaling yet, so I want to be able to write on that. Now, if we go back to our sketch, you can see that there's a couple of little banners up here at the top of the photo. And what I did is I went through the embellishments that came with this particular collection. And instead of being vertical, they're actually horizontal. So I'm going to put my tabs going this way instead. And then I think I'll use that blue one to put the date on. And I'm going to pop dot. I'm going to use some foam dots on this one that says Sisterhood so that it has just a little relief on it. I don't want to use too many bulky embellishments on this particular layout because by adding the Peekaboo Pocket to the page protector, that already gives it some level of dimension, and I don't want to really make the page too super bulky. So it'll look something like this. All right, so we can start positioning the adhesive on those. I am a huge fan of this multi-purpose tool because this allows me to do things that sometimes my acrylic fingernails hinder me from. So it's an extra set of helping you grip. Maybe I'll do it like that. All right, and then these just the backings peel off. Okay, there we go. And I'll go ahead and attach this. So it's ready for my journaling, and we'll get that in position over here. Now let's take a look at the other stickers and embellishments that came with the kit. And let's see, let me decide. I love my Scrapbooking Sisters, but that's orange. I think it's gonna blend too much. All right, I don't see a sticker that's jumping out at me, so let's have a look at these. Oh, now here's what I am thinking. We can put a little lift me like this. And let's see if there's a little blank tag that I can use in place. Let's see. Yeah, we can use this green one because it's similar to the color of the drink. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna trim this item out. I'm gonna have it come out of the side of the page. Oops, let's get these guys out of there. And it'll say lift here. Okay, so it'll come off the side like this. And this way, people will know when they look at the page that there's actually an interactive element and something to lift there. So I like that. Let's go ahead and attach that. And then Creative Memories just came out with a new punch in the collection, which is a tab punch. And that punch is going to be great to put on the side or maybe on the bottom of my peekaboo pocket so that you have something to grab onto that also lets you know this is where you lift. Okay, I think I'm gonna add a little more green to this so that it doesn't look like quite such a random choice there. And that will bring my green element back in as well. All right. And then let's put the page protector on and I'll show you how to attach the peekaboo pocket. This is the full original Creative Memories 12 by 12 page, which uses side loading. It has the jeeping on the in and outside edges, and it uses a side loading page protector. But I think actually my new adventure for 2024 is gonna be, I'm gonna try some of the top loading pages because the nice thing about the top loading pages is that you can create layouts, because I don't scrapbook in order. So what I usually end up with is a whole like album box with a stack of completed pages. And then I periodically go through and put them in order and put them in their album home. So what this allows me to do using a top loading page is reorder the order that the pages are in. So it's good for somebody like me who doesn't plan quite so much. Okay. I think I'm going to do the writing off camera, but let me go ahead and add on my peekaboo pocket so that you can see how that works. Okay, so here's the peekaboo pocket. Here's the flap. It's unfolded, and the flap is on the top, okay? And your adhesive strip is on the top of that. Okay, so I'm going to peel that off, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold it over. But actually what I'm going to do is I am going to try to do this so that I can match the photo edges up as much as possible. So sticky side up here, I'm just going to line my photos up as close to the edge of each other as I can. And then I'm just going to go ahead and attach that nice crystal clear adhesive. Can you see that edge a little bit? Yes. Is anyone who's looking at your album really going to notice that? No. So now you can see what you have here is your Peekaboo Pocket sitting on top of the other photo, on top of the mat. And then what I'll do is I'll add the tab punch here so that it's easy to know where to lift. And then I'll add my journaling, and I will post the completed page when it's finished. I really hope that you try this sketch. This is really a nice one for using some of your printed paper, having some space to see the printed paper, and getting an opportunity to create a border too. You can use the Peekaboo Pockets to add more photos if you want to, or you can stay with just the 2 photo layout, entirely up to you. I can't wait to see what you do. Bye.